All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Hope all is well out there today. Today, we're going to read through Nehemiah and talk about, we're just talking about how, the Most High has, how He always been there for His people and uh, how His people called on a name that, uh, that's different from what we call today. So, we're just talking about how the Most High just, love His people and always came back to redeem His people. So let's start right here at Nehemiah. We just start at 1. And it say, the words of Nehemiah, the son of Hachaliah, and it came to pass in the month Chislu, in the 20th year as I was in the Shushan the palace, that Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews, okay, because the tribe of Judah are Jews, or the real Jews of the Bible, the so-called Negroes, uh, uh, and Benjamin and the Benjamites, and the Levites, the Haitians and Jamaicans. We are all the Jews. We're the Jews, the real Jews of the Bible. Okay, it says I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left out of captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Okay, so uh, the tribe of Judah were being afflicted. Uh, It say, and it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasting and prayed before the God power of heaven. And he said, I beseech thee, O Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah of heaven, the great and terrible God, power, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thy ear now be attentive and thy eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray thee before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor thy statutes, nor the judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word of thy commandments thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. So this is how the so-called children of Israel get into the lands where they at today, by scattering uh, by the Most High. He say, but if ye turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, thou though thou were of you cast out unto the uttermost parts of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them into the place that I have chosen to set my name there. So, uh, so even back then, when the Most High was in the when the children of Israel was in the Persian captivity, this is the same. The Most High uh, uh, came and got his people from whatever land that they was at. Those who returned back to him, and called on his name. So it's the same thing today as us here in America and the other places that we've been scattered around the world. And now you here in America, uh, where you're hearing uh, his name being said, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is the true uh, biblical Paleo Hebrew name of the Father and the Son. Okay, so that's very important. The name is very important, you know, because who you calling on when you pray. You want to be calling on a true living God. The true power. Not some idol gods uh, who can't help you in your time of need. So the name is very important. We got to get that name down pat. It sounds strange, but it sounds strange because it's real. You know, and we used to hearing another name being called that we thought was real, or some of us, but that's not real. So we telling you the real name. So the Most High have set His name here in this place the same way He set His name and our ancestors and forefathers was calling on that name. You know, it say, now these are thy servants and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by the great power and by the strong hand. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thy ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name. See? So you have to fear that name, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah, because that's the true living God, and and his son, you know. So when you fear that name, the Most High open up his secrets to you, you know, by you studying, being in the truth, you know, uh, searching through these scriptures and getting His word and understanding. So uh, this is why, like I say, we calling on Yahweh in these days because we know that's the true name and the true power who's going to come back to redeem His people who believe in Him and have faith in Him. Okay, so it say, now these are thy servants who thy people whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. You see, okay. So let's read 11 again. It says, O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thy ear be attentive to prayer of thy servants, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name and prosper. So when you fear that name, the Most High, uh, you prosper. You grow when you fear that name. You know, your spirits spring up, and it takes it want to have it want to take more of the word in. So you prosper in the word, and you prosper in other ways when you fear the name Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah. He said, I pray thee, thy servant, this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was king's cupbearer. Okay, so let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 4. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 4. Yeah, because like I say, y'all, we got to be calling on the true name. Those who's calling on those other names, you know, it's those names not gonna get you saved. What I said, 30 and 4. It says, if any of thine be driven out unto the outermost parts of heaven, from this will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from this will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thou fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart. Right? So the Most High is going to give you a clean mind. It's going to, you're going to want to purge out those evil thoughts or wicked thoughts that go in your head. And this is what the Most High, when you return to him, he will do that. Uh, he say, and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, which the heart represents the mind, with all thy mind, and with all thy soul, and thou mayest live. See that? And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. See that? So when the children of Israel return to the Most High, he's going to uplift all those curses off of us and put it on our enemies. The same people who had his people oppressed. The same people who've been killing his people in the streets. The same people who hung his people by trees. The same people who did all these uh, uh, heinous acts, and just, you know, just kept his people down in this land. This is the most